Hey guys, welcome to Horizon. So today we're going to be looking at some of our words and how to spell them. Sometimes it can be a little tricky to know what to do with certain words when we're adding a suffix. So you might be thinking, well, what is that? Well, in words, we have a root word and then we put addings to it. For instance, ing would be a suffix to a word, or est or er. Those are all ending parts of the word that we can add to it to kind of change its meaning. Now, up here I have some root words right here. We have big, funny, loud, heavy. Those are all words. Then we're going to add a suffix to them. So first we'll add an er to it, then we'll add an est. And those are our suffix, er and est. So first we're going to look at big. Now we're going to see some of these words might change a little bit when we add those suffix to them. So for big, when we add this er, we're going to write big. So we'll do B-I-G. Now, when we add that suffix, we're going to write another G. So we're going to double that consonant. G, G, E, R. So we double that, bigger. Same thing when we make it biggest. We're going to double that G. Right? When we write biggest, we double that G and we get biggest. What about funny? What do we do with funny? Well, we'll write our word, but we're going to drop that Y and make it an I. So for funny, we write fun. And then we write our another N. Instead of writing that Y, we're going to write an I and then put our ER. Okay, and then for funniest, we're going to do the same thing. We drop that Y, make it an I, and then add that EST. What about loud? Well, loud, we're just going to keep it the same. And then we just add the suffix. Nothing changes. Louder. Loudest. All right, and then our last one is heavy. All right, so when this one ends in the Y. So what do? We drop that Y, we change it to an I. Heavier, and then same thing with heaviest. All right. Now, so when we're doing that, we're just changing our or adding our suffix, and we change for ER and EST, we make some changes with those words. So there's some rules as to why we do that. Now, so we double it in some of them. So if we look at big, that's the one that we doubled. Well, big is a one-syllable word, so big. We're going to double this consonant so we can get this bigger. So we get that two vowel word. So we're going to double it. But some of them, we follow the Y rule, which is with the other ones. And so our Y rule says, maybe you can, there you go. When a root word ends in Y, change the Y to an I when adding the suffix. Now, you change the Y to an I when adding a suffix. So we drop that Y and we change it to an I with this one and with this one. But we do have an exception to that rule. So we don't do it with all rules, with all words, I mean. So there's an exception to it, and that is keep the Y if there's a vowel before it. So if before that Y is a vowel, then you're going to keep that Y. Now, what are our vowels again? A, E, I, O, U. So here we have the word play. And so we keep that Y when we change it to player, playing. We don't drop that Y because there's an A before that Y. So there's an exemption to some of our rules as to why we would change them. So if it's a single syllable word, so big, what about hop? If we were to change hop to hopping, we're going to add another P, so Hopping, hopping. And so sometimes in words like that, you double that last word. It's going to be a consonant, and you will double it when you add those suffixes. So hopefully that was a little helpful. Maybe this was totally review, but maybe you think, I kind of forgot that. I needed to remember that. And so maybe that's a little help for you as to what do you do when you're adding consonants. So some of them, or adding suffixes, sorry. Some of them, they don't change at all, like loud. Loud, you just add that ER, that EST. But some of them, if it's just a small, it's that 3-letter word and it's one syllable, big, it's got that consonant and that vowel before it, then you're going to double it. And so it just depends. There's some rules that you have to follow. Sometimes we follow that Y rule if there's a consonant before it, if there's a vowel. Sometimes we don't. And sometimes there's just exemptions to those rules. Sometimes our words just don't like to follow the rules. But we've got to keep an eye out and look for those words and make sure we're keeping them all straight. And but most importantly, I just hope that you guys are having a blast this summer, having some fun, and just watching these videos, and maybe you're getting some practice in too. And I will see you guys later. Have a great week.